Hello, everybody. This is Avantik here. Today, we'll discuss about 2024 cloud landscape, career pathways for experienced professionals. In this discussion, we'll get into analyzing cloud trends, how enterprises are strategizing again for it, and what are the career implications. Uh, to get about to get deeper into today's agenda, we'll start with a brief introduction about EdYoda, followed by latest enterprise trends in cloud 2024, impact of cloud adoption on different job roles, understanding hybrid multi-cloud topology, case study on multi-cloud and hybrid cloud optimization, advantages of cloud certification, continuous learning and a certification roadmap that as a professional you should pursue, and what are the ways to clear certification in one shot. A brief about EdYoda. So we have worked with 40 plus enterprises in setting up their L&D strategy to certification need evaluation to skill gap analysis, getting the deliver done, trainings done, and eventually assessing the impact of the intervention. 1,000 plus talent development programs has been delivered to enterprises on behalf of EdYoda, and 20,000 plus enterprise work professionals have been upskilled in their journey. We're also part of AWS Partner Network. We have one AWS EdStar member and Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub. Few of the organizations that we have been part of are WNSG, LatentView, IBM, Mavenir, and TCS. Here are some latest trends of cloud in 2024. AI and machine learning integration in cloud. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about AI and how AI and generative AI is going to change the future. And I am a firm believer of that fact. And so does many companies. So that's where everybody is headed to. Everybody wants to leverage AI to make their products better, to service their customers better. And AI can be done better using cloud, right? And that is where cloud adoption is accelerated by unprecedented rate as more and more companies try to use AI or generative AI. They have no option but to leverage cloud, and this has been the biggest driver in cloud adoption. The second is the multi-cloud and hybrid cloud situation most of the companies get into. To begin with, it starts with multiple teams who wants to solve their problem using some service of some cloud. And eventually it ends up becoming a team A using some service of AWS, team B using some service of Azure or GCP or Salesforce, right? To solve that problem, you are using different services of different cloud. What it eventually happens is organizations ends up having multiple clouds. Now organizations are seeing this from a different angle. They want optionality. They want to make sure that tomorrow, if AWS is down, they have something to fall back on, right? If there is a fire in AWS data centers, there is a backup redundancy to that, right? As well as pricing, which is something companies are getting very sensitive to. They do not want AWS to increase price and they don't have any option to that. They want to fall back on some other cheaper alternative, right? So these are the factors which have been driving this initiative. The third is edge computing and distributed cloud. With the explosion of Fitbit devices, EV, and such IoT getting into our household, such devices are growing at unprecedented rate, and so does the edge cloud requirement and distributed cloud use cases coming up. This is the third biggest driver of cloud adoption. As more and more products and services are shifting towards cloud, security needs to be bettered there. So the new age security companies are built on top of cloud. As we see, from development to deployment, everything happening on the cloud, right? Every products get released on the cloud, every services get released on the cloud. So your deployment to DevOps to services rollouts, everything is happening on the cloud, right? To visibility. So all this is where your cloud native development and DevOps comes into picture. This is driving another force to force of adoption, cloud adoption. The other aspects are your challenges that companies are facing. So as you can see in LinkedIn and Naukri alone in India, we have 1.5 lakh jobs that are uh, getting that are live now. Companies are or enterprises are reeling under talent crunch, right? They're not able to find talent as more and more things starts happening in the cloud to solve their problems. And this is what I would recommend people, right, every enterprise professional to leverage on. And these are the reasons, right? So pre-cloud, there were roles like system administrator, network engineer, right? And post-cloud, there are roles like cloud architect, DevOps engineer, site reliability engineer, cloud security specialist. Right? The job openings for pre-cloud roles like system administrator and network engineers have reduced by 56%, whereas the same has increased for cloud-specific roles to 135%. And you can see the job hikes are from 5 to 20%. You can see the similar trends for developer and automation engineers, where the pre-cloud or the cloud agnostic roles, right? Cloud unaware roles have reduced by 44%, whereas the cloud aware roles have increased by 160% and the salary hike at 32%. And this is more prominent in leadership role. You cannot find, it's very difficult to find leadership role without cloud knowledge, full stop, right? You can see there is a 80% reduction in leadership roles, be it business or technical, in non-cloud specific opportunities, whereas similar cloud specific opportunities, there is a role increase of 50% and salary hike of 23%. So I think the decision should be clear for most of you. Now directly get into hybrid and multi-cloud topology before I can get into a case study around it. As I mentioned earlier, more and more organizations are getting into this hybrid multi-cloud setup. Data are sensitive, lot like automotive, like finance, not all you can ship to public clouds, right? That is a transitional phase. Companies, the banking system, the automatic system need to build trust. It's still ongoing process, right? Or compliances for that matter, right? So need to have some data in your private cloud, some data on premise, and something you need to scale out, you need to add new features. Those things are going to the public cloud. So this type of setup is very common, and there are challenges this kind of setup poses. Let's see. This is one of our partner organizations with 10,000 people, finance organization with 10,000 workforce. Over a period of time, they got into a situation where their on-premise data centers were used for their core banking systems, private cloud for keeping sensitive customer data, AWS for customer-facing applications, Google Cloud for analytics, Microsoft Azure for productivity tools and development environments, right? So you can see different teams chose different thing. And of course, as companies wants optionality. So they wanted to, optimize the whole system, right? These are the challenges they wanted to solve. Consistent data governance across different cloud environments, difficulty in managing cloud and organizing resource allocation, right? Skill gap among IT staff for managing diverse cloud setups, compliance issues they were getting, performance issues they were getting. So, it happened over a period of time, the situation, but these are the challenges that the enterprise got into. These are the solutions, what they did to solve the problem. using some third-party application and some writing wrapper codes around it, they built a unified management platform, right, behind which the cloud setup would be, right? So this made the visibility of the cloud and controlling it better. You don't have to go to each cloud provider and verify your use case, or your private cloud, public cloud. You don't really have to do that. You have a singular interface. This made management really easy, right? Then for developers and testers, they earlier need to be aware, where will my code getting executed? Is this the configuration? Is this the authentication? They created a cloud as an agnostic architecture so that developers and testers needn't be bothered about where will be their code getting executed. So this is what you call infrastructure as a code. Third one is, you're creating another layer to identify where will my task get executed, right? So you need a intelligent workload placement. Where will my task getting executed? Where will be my task be more economical? Where is my compliance for this particular task? So nobody has to think about all these things. You have this intelligent workload placement, which actually did those complex jigsaw puzzle solving for the entire organization. Right. Then you have this cost optimization, right? So you can dynamically on the fly can decide which is the cheapest way to execute this particular task, and you are getting that executed. You have certain security and compliance framework across your complex deployment, and you have a system which can identify for that particular task which is the most suited environment to execute it. And eventually the skill development of workforce, where they invested in training different people with multiple cloud skill sets. And the result was this: it took them around 8 to 12 months to get these things done. And they started seeing results like 30% reduction in overall cloud spending, 40% reduction in latency for global users, 50% faster time to market of new services, very much useful for developers and testers to know what is the impact of what they're doing, and continue optimizing the stuffs. 60% reduction in security incidents, achieving compliances, GDPR, PCI DSS, and many other regulatory compliances, especially if you are in automotive or finance, increased IT team productivity by 25%. So what it boils down to is, professional development to acquire one certification annually is what we recommend, right? The reason is, as more and more things are happening on the cloud, the releases are faster than ever. The features are getting shipped faster than ever, right? And no matter which organizations you are working in, you will be limited in your scope, right? So, but you need to continuously learn things. And this is the opportunity a certification provide. You can keep a goal every year. I'll do one certificate, no matter what it is, right? You can just learn anything, right? I'll give you the roadmap after this, but choosing the right thing to learn and learning that will keep you, aware, keep your understanding aware of the whole infrastructure, right? You become more versatile and adaptable. When this your organization, you can keep moving across multiple clouds, multiple roles. It improves your career opportunities, right? And we all need to stay relevant to our long work span of 35 years. This is the certification roadmap. I'm just touching one case. We always recommend to start with AWS Solution Architect, right? Followed by that, no matter what is your base skill set, and you can learn this from scratch. Then it starts based on your current skill, past experience, and your future goal. You can choose any of this intermediate stage 2. It can be similar for Azure as well. And then you have stage 3. The way this happens is, and how we recommend for one shot certification clearance, which is almost 97% success rate, is 32 hours of live interactive sessions with industry expert certified professional. Then you have session-wise assessment of solution architect level certification, right? Architect level questions. Then you have relevant case studies. Case studies are very important, guys. You need to know, you may be from finance, insurance, retail, gaming, whatever domain you belong to, right? You need to have deeper knowledge of how is AWS or a particular technology getting used in that particular environment, as much as you can read, rather than waiting for things to learn when you're really doing it, because it might be too late. You might not get opportunity. You might, if you already do not know. So it's always an advantage to know things beforehand. So these are the case studies that we work with the industry experts and built it and shared that with you. Fourth is the mock test series that we'll be sharing, right? And there is a follow-up discussion after that mock test series. And finally, you have a certification advisor who will be recommending to you when is the right time to appear for the certification. No need to invest or waste the money if you're not ready. We recommend you only when you're ready, right? So, that's all from my side. Look forward to having further discussions with you. Thank you, everybody.